Right, hello everybody, welcome back to Metro Meets, and as you can see, my next guest is in the studio with me, and it is Philip Goodwin. Philip, how are you, my friend? Are you well?
Hi, Ian. Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well
Good
indeed,
man,
thanks.
good man. Now that Phil, I really appreciate you joining us this afternoon on Metro Meets, and what we really want to find out is a little bit more about you and your involvement with the Metros, because you've got quite a rich history of the Metros, haven't you?
Yeah, I haven't done any racing before. When I got into metros about 6 years ago, so I think it was around 2014. A chap at work was racing, decided to sell his car, so I thought, well, I'll have a go and bought that a little A series Metro X race car, and didn't need a lot doing to it as I thought when I bought it. So it
Was
was
that the
quite
black and
reasonable.
red one? Is that the black and red one?
Yeah, black and red one. It was originally
This
I
one.
think it was. That's it. Yeah, it was Derek Facer's car 51, raced in the Metro Cup, and then James Tutman had it and put it in the Navico livery. All I did is just took all the stickers off, and the ambition was just to get on track. Really, I hadn't done any racing before. I talked about it. It was sort of a bit of a wish list to do. I thought, well, I'm going to go and do it, get out there. I've done a couple of track days just at Castle Coombe with the mini action day, and I thought, well, that came along at the right price. It was all out of the package. Just bought a suit and a helmet off eBay and did my odds test and got out there. You know, unfortunately, I didn't do very well and blew the engine up. But there we go. That's another story.
Well, it happens. It happens. So why the Metros then? If you'd never raced before, saw it and just thought, yeah, fancy a bit of that.
Yeah, I looked at Mighty Minis and went in a couple of those as a passenger ride just on charity days at the mini action day. I bought a couple of minis, but they were just absolutely rotten and needed too much work doing to them. So, and then obviously, a friend at work, he got no storage space for the black A series there. I had a look at it, and it was in remarkable good condition. Nice, solid car. I think it had always been a race car, so it sort of hadn't had all the road salt and rot that you get. Took it to Kerber and had a go in it, and just couldn't believe how quick and how well they handle.
Yeah.
Then took all the badges off, went back to Castle Coombe on a mini action day with it, and sort of got a bit laughed at with being a metro until I went out on track, and then everybody wanted to know what was under the bonnet and why it was so quick and why I was overtaking everybody. Uh, so yeah, it
That's
was
what I
just
like.
the spares are
That's what I like
available.
to hear.
Yeah, spares are available, and they're quite reasonable to buy. So it was just a great choice really to get into motorsport.
Well, I must thank you actually because you sent in quite a few photos, didn't you? I just want to show some of the photos that you sent in now. Best respect in the world, Philip. I'm just going to remove your name actually so we can actually see the pictures a bit better if that's okay. No disrespect, please.
That's great.
um, Here we go. There is the Navico livery there. Look. Yeah, we can see
Yeah,
that.
it was James had got that in Navico, and I think it was his cousin had got Esso in white, and they raced as a team. And that was the first time I'd first race car and first time I'd seen it. So that was where it was stored. That was the trailer it came on.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just fetching it over from Kings Lynn, fetching it home.
We're talking of sort of, you've got the white on it there. Here's another one that you sent in. Tell us a story behind this.
Yeah, but that was it was covered in little stars when I bought it. That's my team partner John there. Some years back, he wanted to get into metro racing, and I fetched that down from Bristol. I'd sold the black one, bought that one. My friend had got a 1380 engine ready to go to drop in it, so I thought, right, we'll try with a different car. The black one had problems with continuous fuel starvation and misfire. So yeah, I bought that one, and then John wanted to get into racing, so I let him have that, and I bought a K series. Decided to go over to K series, a bit more reliable, and a championship
Yeah,
winning car came up, which was I think it was car 94 Tom Granger's.
nice, nice. Another little machine here. Look, number 94. You've got your name on the side there. What's the story of this?
Yeah, so that was Tom Granger's. It was just a really good price to buy. It was a known quick car. It didn't need any work doing to it, and you could just jump straight in it and get out on track. Set personal best lap records for myself. in that car. Only needed a little bit of body work. The closer you get to P1, the more contact seems to happen. So it just needed a little bit, and obviously, yeah. So that was it. Ready to race. I think I did Alton Park and a few places in that one.
I've got another one to show everybody, and if you like your metros, I have to say, be prepared because this, to me, is absolutely stunning. Look at that! Oh my word, that is something else, Phil. That talk us through this.
Yeah, thank you very much for the compliments. That's my current car. I bought it as a road going car and then converted it into a race car. Believe it or not, they don't need that much to convert over once you've got the windows and the doors. But yeah, so that's the car I run now, pre any livery on it. I've run that for 2 seasons and developed it over those 2 seasons while still racing because big believer in seat time, keeping out on track, gaining that 20-minute race experience, uh, and then just build on it. So I enjoy it. I enjoy the building of them more so. That's why I've sort of once I was hooked, probably had 7 or 8 different ones and tried to help other people
Wow.
onto track.
Well, talking about that, then, if anybody's watching this right now, Phil's probably a good person to speak to, actually, if you need advice on building out a metro. Do drop us a message if you want to get in contact with Phil. Do go to mgmetro.co.uk, drop us a message or comment below. And I'm sure, I'm sure you wouldn't mind helping out somebody, Phil, if they need a bit of help, would you? Uh, Phil, in your career with the metros, where's your favourite place to go racing? What's your favourite track?
To be honest, they're all my favourite. I love racing on the ball, but a local one to me is Alton Park. It's quick, it's technical, it's hilly as well. I think if you make mistakes, you could end up in the barrier quite quickly because there's not much runoff. But it's a phenomenal track to race. Second choice, I think, would be Brands. You know, the first time you experience Paddock Hill and going down there is short,
Oh, yeah.
nippy little track. You can do it in under a minute per lap. So yeah, Alton Park for me, only because it's so close. But
Yeah.
Brands is just such a drive down and back. But
Alton's
good track.
Alton's had a lot of love, I have to say. I can see why. It is a cracking track when it's not chucking it down anyway. But hey,
Yeah.
that's another story. We don't need to go into that. Phil, anybody watching this right now thinking, yes, this looks pretty good. I'm interested in finding out more. Why should they join the Metros? Why should they get racing and take part with the MG Metro Cup?
Obviously, I've not been in other clubs, but when I joined, I hadn't done any racing whatsoever, and everybody welcomed you into the club. I had problems, like I say, I detonated the engine. They were there trying to help me and change the head gasket and get me back on track. So yeah, it is very competitive. Don't get me wrong, but they try to keep the grid numbers up. So anybody gets a problem, everybody's hands on deck to get you back out there, keep those numbers up. It's also not as expensive. It can be costly depending, how much you want to put into it. So you can spend a lot if you want to, but you can also pick up a car, do a lot of the mechanics yourself, and get out on track really reasonable. And if you haven't got the knowledge or experience, the guys there, from my experience, have just told you what to do and how to do it and how to go about it because they want to race at the end of the day and they want to race metros. They're quick. They're surprisingly quick for a 1.4 or 1293 A series, and it can be really reasonable. And currently, the parts are still readily available at a reasonable
Yeah,
price. So if you have a little knock, you can pick a wing or a door next to nothing. The engines you can buy over 25 easily and just swap the engine over into a K series if you decide to go down the A series route.
great.
It can be expensive, but it's the club really so friendly, and once you get into the racing, it's very close racing, really close racing, bumper to bumper, and really fun. So it gets the adrenaline going.
Fantastic, Philip Goodwin. Thanks so much for your time this afternoon. I really, really do appreciate it. I can't wait to see trackside as well and get a little bit closer to that. Yellow or green? Yellow or green? What do we think? Comment below. Is it yellow? Is it green? There you
It's
go.
yellow on photographs, but it flips to green in under fluorescent light. So
There we go. Philip, thank you so much.